Welcome to the first release of myRESEARCHhome, a web portal for the research community. This tool was built in the Office of Research Informatics and is funded by Duke CTSA to help research faculty and staff across Duke accomplish research tasks more easily and to provide transparency into information about your research portfolio. This landing page, which can be found at myresearchhome.duke.edu, describes the purpose and current features of the portal. You can access the portal by clicking the Launch Portal button here, or you can also access the portal directly by typing mrh.duke.edu. So you'll see here we are in the portal. As you can see, there are multiple squares or widgets. I'm going to briefly describe the elements of each one. And in the first release, we have 9 widgets altogether. Note that you can move the widgets around, prioritize where things are. Many users put the My Applications widget at the top so they can easily access the many web-based applications they need to use. You can also remove a widget altogether if you don't find it useful. So for example, I just removed that last widget, and if I decide I want to get it back, I go to Customize, and there's My Projects. I can click on it, and it'll reappear. In this case, it goes to the bottom of my screen, far left. So let's go ahead and take a tour of each widget, starting with My Applications. So as you can see, there are multiple tabs within this widget. All has every web-based application to which we connect, and these are listed alphabetically. The Recommended tab has refined the list somewhat, which taking into account the type of research I said I did. So since I had logged into the portal several times, this demo didn't show you that I was asked what type of research I do. So I can go back here into Profile and see that I had selected human subjects research. So as a result, information, for example, about animal research is not available here in the Recommended tab. So for example, DLAR is not here, nor is mouse-based, but in the All tab it is. If I click a star on any tab, on any application, it will appear in my favorites. I had mentioned earlier there's a benefit to multi-factor authentication. So this is one widget where that is helpful, as your MFA is passed on to other sites that require it. So for example, if I click on one of my favorites, Duke at Work, I'm immediately in my Duke at Work dashboard without having to log in again. Not all systems are on the same authentication, but as part of this project, we're working towards encouraging that. Okay, let me move next to My Links, and I'm going to move that up here. So in many ways, this is just a collection of your favorite bookmarks that you can add manually by clicking Add a Link. However, an added benefit is that if you've put a link in that goes to something that requires authentication, you don't need to log in again. For example, here's one right here with Qualtrics. This is something I might check frequently, and it allows me to peek at things without a lot of clicking. So if I had wanted to get this from Qualtrics before, I would have logged into Qualtrics, selected my project, etc. But here I can go to deeper into the dash than I could before. You can also edit your links and trash them if you change your mind. And I've done a lot of links, but I've decided to favorite just a few that I use more often. Let's move now to Need a Navigator. So this is some basic contact information for another resource supported by the CTSA. The My Research Navigators are here to help faculty and staff across Duke with any kind of research-related question. So whether you're looking for a collaborator, or you want to know about a policy, or have a question about a research application like REDCap or core research, a team of navigators is here to help. So you can contact them by phone, by email, or by putting in a ticket. Let's move next to My Training. So this widget gives you a view into all of your pending training from 3 systems, the OESO, from CITI, and the Learning Management System, or LMS. All items that are overdue will appear in red. When you click on the blue hyperlink, you'll be taken to the area where you can go ahead and take the course. You can also, in the Systems tab, you can go ahead and directly access the systems themselves without having to log in. Let's go next to announcements. This is a very simple widget at this point. It displays static information of general interest to the research community, but it soon may be personalized so you can have control over what is visible in this area. Next is My Projects. This widget provides transparency into a couple of systems, and more tabs are coming soon. So first, on this view, I'm looking at my EIRB protocols for which I'm key personnel. The expiration dates will turn yellow and then red as you approach the renewal deadlines. You can click on the protocol number and be taken to the EIRB studies list. The Finance tab, which is blank for me, has information only for faculty who own sponsored research codes. So these are the 2XX and 3XX codes. Here you can see real-time direct and total balances. The balances are in red if you're in trouble. So please continue to work with your grant and finance managers, as this widget does not include information about committed funds or projections. It's merely a view into your raw balances. Next here is My Reports. The My Reports widget replaces the old My Research tab within Duke at Work. Just as with the Finance tab of the My Projects widget, this will probably only be useful to those who are responsible for fund codes. There are 3 tabs providing you with access to financial reports, projection reports, and a series of other reports. These reports are in SAP, so you can drill down into tremendous detail, including things like if you would like to get at the transaction level, you can use this report right here. Okay, I'm going to move to a big widget, which is resources and services. And I'm going to expand it because it's got a lot of information. This widget allows users 2 different ways to access resources and services. One is by searching, again, and it has all recommended and favorites tabs. Hundreds of resources have been cataloged and tagged, and there are hundreds at Duke. If I go to the All tab and I'm looking for any type of resource, I would basically be doing that using the search function. So I'm going to pretend like I'm looking for funding resources. So I type funding, and just like with Google, the top hits come. And if I decide actually I want some funding databases, I can start to type that, and you'll see it refines my search. And I can look here and say, wow, okay, this one looks like a good one. If I click on this hyperlink, it'll take me to that in a different tab. And if I decide I really like it, I could star that, and it'll appear in my favorites. Another way to try and find a resource is with the resource guide. And we think this is particularly helpful for people that are newer to Duke, or if you have a hard time coming up with some search terms. This guide is organized by general stage of research. So for example, if I'm trying to work on developing a protocol and want some help, I would be working here in this plan, prepare, and conduct area. So here's protocol development. If I'm at that stage, here are the resources at Duke that are associated with that. And if I'm working, for example, in clinical research protocol development, I could click on this and find out more information. And again, I could select it as a favorite. So since this entire list was cataloged manually, so resources may have been missed. If you believe you know of a resource that should be included, you can suggest it right here using this suggest a resource button. So finally, and this unfortunately is an empty widget for me, but this is agreements and patents. So this is where faculty, again, will be able to see any patents that they've filed with our Office of Licensing and Venture, or the Office of Corporate Research Collaborations. That's where all of the agreements are. And this will simply list the project, the entity with whom you have the agreement, and the general status of the agreement. So is it fully executed? Is it in negotiation, etc.? And finally, it'll include the person that's responsible in that office for helping manage the agreement, so in case you have questions. That's the general tour. I do want to point out this really important feedback button. This is for the users to let us know a couple of things. Number one, do you see something that doesn't look right? If you see something, for example, in your EIRB and you think that something is missing, let us know. Click on feedback and just tell us. It's sort of, you can just use your own words there. Another really important use of the feedback button is what you think should go in this portal next. We're constantly evolving, we're constantly adding new features, and that is very much done by what the research community wants us to do. So that's the basic walkthrough of the portal. If you'd like an in-person group demonstration or would like to take part in upcoming focus groups on the tool, contact us at myRESEARCHhome@duke.edu, or again, use this feedback button and let us know. We hope you visit the portal often, as it's being updated all the time. Thank you.